Hey folks, how you doing? I'm at it again, and I have the Panasonic DMP UB900 THX certified 4K Blu-ray player, and this is probably one of the most beneficial things to OLED owners and 900E owners, especially. And I'll tell you the reason why shortly. But just to go over the player, just a little bit, how I have it hooked up is with the highest end cables. I actually swapped out the power cord for a high end all silver cable. It's made, uh, extra heavy duty, low noise, all that good stuff. And I'm using the HDMI by AudioQuest as well. And I'm using Terra Labs for 2-channel listening only. Because don't forget, this is actually a CD player and it plays high res audio as well. And I'll get to the TV set and let you know the benefits and why I think this is probably one of the best purchases for 900E owners and OLED owners. Okay, back to the 900E, 75 inch, one of the best TVs I've owned so far, and let me tell you why it's going to benefit this TV so much. First of all, this is a shot from Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. And of course, it's on freeze here or pause because of the copyright infringement. I don't want to get hit by that or flagged, whatever you call it. So I'll leave it here for just a little bit. Might play a tiny bit of the video later. But one of the best features I like about this player, and it's going to help anybody that has an OLED TV or anybody that has a 900E, and it's this feature here. I'll pull up the video settings, and there's set 1, 2, and of course standard. Standard is basically flat video, so nothing really enhanced or anything like that. And then 1 and 2 is basically you could play around with it a little bit. But the most thing that I found beneficial is the dynamic range adjustment, and it only works in HDR. And what it does is it actually takes the picture and boosts up the brightness of the screen. If you feel that, look at that, your screen is too dark for whatever reason in HDR. I've heard Whisper in particular with his 75-inch said he thought it was too bland. And in HDR or a little soft or his liking, this actually will boost up the brightness, and it has a slew of other plethora of adjustments you can make on this player to adjust it to your liking. As you can see, I'm going up and down, and you could really get even darker if you wanted to go dark. So I don't know how much of that you guys could actually see on camera. I don't have the best of equipment to exploit the the benefits of it, but it really brightens it up quite a bit. So going up and down. And it brightens it up sometimes a little too bright. So it's just an extra toy in your arsenal, so to speak, to fine-tune your TV set. And I'll be getting to other things that the Panasonic does with the 900E television. But I thought a lot of people would like to take a look at that just to see, how you can brighten up the screen. And it seems like it brightens the screen up, but it doesn't brighten it, I mean, within reason, unless you put it on full blast, of course. But hitting it up, maybe I keep mine sometimes on 2 or 3, just giving it a little tiny edge or extra bump in brightness depending on the screen or depending on what I'm watching, or if I'm watching it in the dark or in a bright room. But it seems like not to overblow everything. It doesn't really touch the color at all. I haven't noticed at all, and the sharpness stays the same. It just seems like this bumps the brightness up just slightly, and that's one of the things I love about the Panasonic player. Now, I did have the Oppo player. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my throat, but I did have the Oppo player earlier. Some of you've noticed. I had it for a little over a month and decided to switch to the Panasonic just by watching HDR test video. Vincent did a very good test on this player about maybe 6 months ago, 8 months ago. I forgot when it was. I think it was back in April. So I decided to try it out myself. I took home, this is an open box, and I took the open box because if I didn't like it, the store doesn't get hit in the head with having to sell an open box, because it already is open box. And I decided that if I decide to keep it, I'll just simply exchange it for a sealed box, because this one has a couple scratches on it, I noticed. But my other one's on its way because I am going to keep it, and it's quite a bit better than the Oppo 203 in HDR. So this is probably the best HDR machine I've ever used, and I've used them all pretty much. I've used the Philips, Samsung. I have the Sony still, the Sony X800. I still own that one. I tried to put up a video earlier. It didn't come out in the comparison for the two. It's just that my equipment's not that great to really show you guys the difference in players, because at this level, let's face it, you're going to pay more money for a little difference. And then when I say a little difference, is it noticeable? Yes. I'd have to say it's equivalent to you switching your HDR on your Oppo player 203 to Dolby Vision and seeing that little bump in color detail, a little bit sharper, a little bit, enhanced, just more brilliant picture. It's the same thing from going from that Oppo 203 to the Panasonic. You just get more detail. It's more fine lines and like brick walls, stuff like that. If someone's wearing a suit, a little bit more pattern in the suit, and it's a tiny bit brighter. So, and that's big in high end, because first of all, the source is uncompressed anyway. So it's a pristine source, as HD TV test says already, and it actually gives you that small little bump in detail and the vibrancy of the picture. And also you get this dynamic range adjustment as well that helps, I feel. So that's basically why I chose the Panasonic. I'll have more videos on the 900E and my settings. Actually, when I get my settings where I want them, I'm very meticulous in it. On my settings, it takes a few weeks. It takes about 100 hours for the TV to get burned in, and then I usually start adjusting from there on out. And it takes got a good week or two for all the adjustments to be made to my liking, meaning regular TV to HDR to Blu-ray, even down to some crummy old DVDs. I still have a few of those with some old movies that I can't buy on either Blu-ray or 4K. So I just want to touch base with everybody. Hope everybody's having a great day out there, and let everybody see what the Panasonic could do just a little bit. I think that's a huge benefit, by the way, being able to adjust that up like that. It does, in real world, sitting next to it, it makes more dramatic difference than what you could probably see. As long as you, like I said, you don't blast it out and turn it all the way up to 10. But that little fine adjustment really helps out OLED owners and 900E owners. If for those of you that thought that maybe the HDR was a little bit blah for your liking, and wanted to brighten it up just a little bit. So thanks for looking, everybody, and you all have a good one. I'll play a little bit of the video. Won't play much because I know they'll try to flag me.
We sorely need some new blood here.
You all have a good one.
Thanks.